By Michael HoldenFALMOUth, England, Reuters. From blimps of US President Joe Biden and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson to activists dressed in Pikachu costumes, hundreds of protesters have targeted the G7 summit in southwest England to demand action on the climate, poverty and COVID-19. As leaders of some of the world's richest nations gather in picturesque Cornwall, so have dozens of campaign groups that want to court publicity for their causes and send a message to the Western political elite. Leaders from the United States, Japan, Italy, Germany, France and Canada are joining Johnson on Friday for the three-day summit in the seaside resort of Carbis Bay. Their meeting has also provided an opportunity for campaign groups to highlight the issues they say the G7 must address. We want the real Boris Johnson, Joe Biden and other G7 leaders gathering in Cornwall to be like these blimps and join the wave of hope, said Jamie Drummond from the Crack the Crises group which organized the blimp protest. That means they should stop hoarding and start sharing the money, doses and the tech to vaccinate the world, and deliver an historic green recovery deal. Police have mounted a major security operation for the summit, with thousands of officers drafted in from across Britain. Some of those planning demonstrations have said they intended their protests to be noisy, disruptive and annoying. On Friday, officers said they had arrested 7 people after stopping 2 cars in which they found paint, smoke grenades and megaphones. We continue to support the facilitation of safe and legal protest, but criminal activity and public disorder will not be tolerated, the police said in a statement. However, those organizing some of the protests accuse the authorities of oppressive tactics. When talking about how local people feel about protesters, it's really important to remember that lots of protesters are local. Resist G7, an ad hoc collection of about 20 activist organizations, said on Twitter, "It's the G7 that's disrupted us, not the other way around." Reporting by Michael Holden. Editing by Mike Call It White. We're all pained. Canada Indigenous leaders dismiss Pope remarks Meghan and Harry name baby daughter after Queen Elizabeth and Diana. Netanyahu alleges Israeli election fraud. Accuses rival of duplicity. Pope calls for reconciliation. Healing over Canada school discovery. German Conservative state election win boosts Lachette's chancellery hopes. Canada's Trudeau blasts Catholic Church for ignoring role in Indigenous schools. Bitter week for families as evidence to be read in MH17 airliner trial. EU bans Belarus Airlines as opposition urges G7 sanctions. Hong Kong locks down Tiananmen Vigil Park amid tight security. Arrests organizer. Israel's Lapid enlists Gantz. Moves closer to unseating Netanyahu. Disaster feared as chemical cargo ship sinks off Sri Lanka. Australia's Victoria extends Melbourne COVID-19 lockdown for second week. Israel sees probable link between Pfizer vaccine and myocarditis cases. Russia detains prominent opposition politician in widening crackdown. Explainer the cost of having a child in China. Australia's Greta Thunberg steps up climate change activism.